missed you. I've been busy, like real busy. So as you can hear, I'm in paradise. There's a new, I don't think you can see it, my chair's covering it. There's a new little water feeder there, and I took the water feeder out of the middle garden because I've rescued now 3 bees out of there. I'm like, this isn't a good place for it if the bees are drowning or nearly drowning. I have to go check on a bee and make sure that he's alive. He clinged on the thing, but I think he was pretty much nearly dead when I went to go rescue him. So, I don't really have much to say except for the general vibe that's been happening in the last few days because I haven't really paid attention to anything except for staying grounded. I've been paddleboarding and droning videos for the last 2 days. So everyone around Calgary, yeah, if you're from here, you say Calgary. Everyone from Calgary that missed out or came on Saturday to the river rafting, I will be going again this Saturday of the long weekend. You are under no obligation to come to the river rafting thing. If you want to just come hang out at the park. But I have some really good feedback that might help you just based on traveling and whatnot. Firstly, if you're looking to rent a raft, I would suggest going and buying some shitty little flotation device because they're all on sale right now. And if you need a life jacket, first of all, if you're on a paddleboard in the bow and you have an ankle strap, you do not need a life jacket. That's only paddleboards, okay? But kayaks and dinghies and rubber inner tubes, you all have to have life jackets on. And the popos on the river all the time. It's actually, they're the most annoying thing on there. Bless your hearts for looking out for safety, but seriously, they create so much waves, they can't even take a slow speed. Like, I had to turn my paddleboard and go, like, you can see people are out here. Like, I got a whole bunch of equipment on the front of my paddleboard. I don't want to dip into the drink, so calm your jets, man. Like, honestly. So, but I've also noticed they're not really policing people as much as they were last year, if that makes sense. So last year they were out there writing tickets, and I haven't seen anybody actually get a ticket per se. I'm just saying that. So maybe something's changed there. I don't know. But if you want to come on Saturday, we leave Bowness Park around 1 o'clock, even if it's like 1:30 or whatever. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Because I was very right about how long it takes. In fact, it took 4 hours and 15 minutes. And that was us with us dinking around on Inukshuk Beach for, I don't know, probably 45 minutes. We had lunch and we played a game-ish. And Colleen got a silver maple leaf, awarded prizes for stacking rocks as high as she could. She even put a cherry on the top of one. It was hilarious. Wrote freedom all over Q, stuff like that. It was awesome because I didn't actually go and look for those yesterday. I don't know why. I'm like totally slipped my mind because probably my friend and I were so engrossed in conversation, and kind of was like a healing trip. Yesterday was really interesting because my little sister and I have had so many experiences together spiritually. So it was more of a spiritual trip yesterday than anything. But anyways, yeah, if you want to come on Saturday, that's what's happening. It'll take more likely closer to 5 hours this time. So I even say the number and it goes because what comes after F? Well, the letter G, I wonder. And when you put those two together, it goes again. So anyhow, last video, Greg Hallett, I don't know. Okay, so finally catching you live again. Okay, so happy I caught you live. I love you guys. I love all of you. Okay, So, yeah. Anyways, hello, Miss Dana. Okay, so I'm gonna share a little bit of what some of my pals and I have come to the conclusion of, okay? Just to, and I'm glad there's other people, like, I've been having some interesting talks even about the timeline shifts of like this last week. So I don't know if I got told you guys on Facebook. I'm not sure if I made a video after that or not, or I just told it to my friends. I had a dream the night after Trump text, and I was visiting. I thought it was remote viewing. Actually, it was really cool. I was seeing Trump, and then I was seeing Xi Jinping, and then or whatever the name is, and then I was seeing Putin, and I'm like, hey, how are you? They didn't. I don't. They obviously knew I was there because they're, I think, obviously, whatever, smarter than I am in this game. But it was like I could just see that this group of people was collaborating together, and how I guess the plan was coming together. So some of the other things is one of my friends actually met. You know how I feel about politicians. Everybody does. Danielle Smith, who is the Premier of Alberta, of the Republic of Alberta, I'll just say. And one of the first things she did, and I've talked about this before on the show, and those of you that know, said, who comes out and says, I'm sorry, but someone who's a part of the plan? Like, she didn't put on any of the restrictions in our province, but she was apologizing, and I could see that she had this role to play against all of the other premiers, that she was taking back Alberta through her own kind of political initiatives. Yes, she supports the LGBTQ thing and whatever. She's not, I think what it is it's like not rocking the boat on the whole spectrum of people who are still coming up to the awakening. So Miss Dana and I had a really great conversation this morning, and I was like, yeah, I think where people are at are like, we're in the white light of truth. And we all know that once you hit truth, there's no going back to the dark side. There's this nobody can tell you anything to shake you from that fact. We're here. We're white, knowledgeable light, okay? So the way we have to look at the other people is they're coming through like the dark, but they're going through these shades of gray because we've fed them all of these seeds of knowledge. So the other day when Donald Trump, oh, I'm getting goosebumps. Look at that. Raw. So when Donald Trump tweeted the other day, we've been expecting that. The people who are awakened and remembering their journey, we were expecting that. So our collective consciousness was like, rah, rah, and people could see that, like, that mugshot's fake. And then we just make jokes about it. It's all over the internet. Barron Trump's, like, mugshot and all these, like, if it's like, so when people who are, like, saying, hey, man, like, why isn't this HB computer being talked about? Why isn't da 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 and blah blah blah? And we're having enough. It's because all those people now that were in the black information of being programmed. It's just programs, you guys. We're programmed to believe certain things. And when that program's been broken and you fixed all of your internal triggers that go along with that program, then you start healing and you go further up to the white light. Okay? So you have to work through those gray patches yourself. And we cannot do that through anyone. You have to do that. Everybody has to do their own shadow work. That's gray. It's not white. It's not black. It's shadow. It's gray. So people now are coming to when that tweet went out, it was like, okay, I felt like personally, I've been very, I won't say down, but I've been trying to detach from the emotional traumas that are going on all over with all of these FIRESs. I don't even want to say the F word. Okay, that's my F word. I can say fuck all I want. But with all of those, because they're man-made or DEWs. And it's frustrating to see more lives lost. It's frustrating to see people still going around wearing this stuff. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. But that's the last pieces of shade in us. Like when I'm pissed off about something, like some dipshit on the bus who is very unaware of his own surroundings and is sitting in handicap seats when people who need those seats are coming on the bus and says, "Yeah, I'm not ready for that." I'm like, "What?" You're ready right now. I was like pulling that guy into the great awakening of self-awareness, whether he believed it or not. So, but that's me going, God, what people are that clueless sometimes, right? Still that clueless. And why am I getting mad about it? I should have been like just a little more, light and live vibes. Okay, dude. I was like, no, whatever, dude. I picked up his chair and whipped up the seats. And I'm like, clearly I need to go for more paddleboarding. I still got some things to work out. But that was one of the most joyous things, I might add. Oh, my butts, it sticks to these weird seats on the... So I got shorts on. It's hot out. But anyways, so that's what people are going through right now, is this big shift of their own gears. Of their own, like, wait a minute. You mean CNN said Trump was right? What? Huh? There's actually stuff on there that's true? What the... I don't want to go ahead and admit that to anybody in my family that was telling me opposite, first of all, because, wow, if they were right about that, they start thinking, the wheels start flipping, but it also flips them into a better gear. Hear me out on this. If we were right about Trump tweeting, then we must be right about some of the other stuff. Like the other stuff that had to change the collective consciousness. And the bus driver mentioned this to me last night when I was coming home. It was just me and this bus driver on this 9:30 bus or whatever. And he started talking about Putin and the Wagner Group guy. And I was like, and he was talking like he was watching the news, you know? So I was like, wait a second. I said that Wagner Group guy had to die because we have to end the war there. We must find peace. So they've been promoting this guy as like, whatever. And I said, I don't even know what the real story is behind that person, but I can tell you our consciousness is going to change about that, because people right now don't know what's going on with BRICSs. And so I filled them in on how that owns now 40 to 80%, it's going to be 80% of the oil economy. What is that going to do to the US dollar? Since 1971, the whole world's economy, fake stock market, has been ruled by the oil cartels and OPEC and all of those shitty corporations that were started in like the energy companies, you know, like, oh, we got to make sure, you know, they're energy efficient, emissions, carbons, whatever, blah, 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 and all this shit. There's a very small handful of people. I can tell you one person right now, Carol Taylor, who put out the carbon tax credit in Canada. Go F yourself. That's just another way to collect money from us over a big scam. Trees need carbon dioxide. We all need carbon dioxide to grow. We all learned that in science, but they kept trying to make us believe it was something opposite going on the planet. Like, no, this is God's world. Oh, that's really weird. All of a sudden the wiggler started. I took it out because it stopped, and then I look over and it just starts wiggling. Creepy. Anyways. But yeah, so there's a lot of people. When I was talking to the bus driver, he goes, yeah, I've heard people going out and buying silver and for years. And he goes like, where do you keep it? And I'm like, it's not as big as people think, number one. Like, I don't know why everybody makes such a big deal about having physical currency. Y'all carry cash around. Like, people wear diamond jewelry. You guys are like, I don't know, those people, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get why you think having a little pirate bounty of, like, honestly, if you were to put, like, I don't know, $3,000 worth of silver that you bought, it probably would fit into a container like this. I mean, I don't know. If you're buying more than that, yeah, derp, get a safe. Lock it to your floor in your basement, whatever. protect yourself that way. But I mean, if you're just a, you know, person of moderate means, then you're not gonna have all like I don't know, I don't get people in their their theories that way, but they start when I told them, I said, like, if you go buy a currency right now, silver, you'll see that it all has a DNA imprint on it since 2013. And I said, who came out in 2013 and started telling us everybody was spying on us? Snowden. And I said, I think that year was super important to start us getting to the point where we're on this unhackable technology, because once that DNA is in your wallet, it's yours. Like, no one can take it. So we have to move through the shifting of the gears through that, and that is all about our collective consciousness agreeing that, hey, I told the bus driver, I'm like, so yeah, if there was a big cyber attack and all of a sudden you had no money in your bank account, yet you had no mortgage, no debt, no credit cards, what would happen? How would you feel? He's like, that'd be awesome. Like, he was like super happy. I'm like, yeah, what if everything was just all of a sudden wiped out because it's all tied to human trafficking and money laundering? Wouldn't you feel great about knowing that? And I'm going to bring up the BRICSs again because Dana and I talked about it this morning, and her and I have always been big fans of the Venus Project. And if you guys have not followed along, I've been saying since 2020 how the Venus Project is a resource-based economy. I'm a big fan of Jacques Fresco, the guy who started it, and his partner Roxanne. In fact, I was such a big fan that I think when he passed away, I think it was in 2019, the beginning of January, he was 103 years old. I drew a portrait of him, and one of my friends purchased the portrait, but that copy that he posted got sent to Roxanne. It got sent all over the world. And his whole thing, you guys need to go on YouTube and watch the Venus Project, because the principles and theories, this man was way ahead of his time, is basically what BRICS is coming to. So your country's resources are based on that economy. So, and part of the blockchain, and I think I'm going to do a chart video explaining this, and I might incorporate it with the Big Short. I'm going to dissect the Big Short because that's going to happen again, but in real life on the news. So you guys are like, that's how we got here. Okay, that makes sense, right? So I'll do a little chart video on that. It's not going to be very long. And then I'll tie it into the what's going on with the economies. Because the more people that join up to those economies, they're all agreeing to the same thing. And those same principles exist within GESARA, NESARA, and the Venus Project. They're very overlapping timelines. So people who have been focusing, this is where the great things happen, you guys, in your shifting gears. Oh, I got goosebumps. Oh. Okay, so I have friends who have been following the Venus Project for years. They are all about resource-based economy. They're da-da-da-da-da. They know our government's corrupt. They know da-da-da-da. But they are not fans of this. They think it's all a big psyop. Da-da-da-da. They're just in a different timeline. But now they see some of these things in the posts and everything coming true, and they see the timelines converge. And we're going to see how easy it is now for those people who are all praying through the book of Revelations, and everybody who's doing their own spiritual connections, download Christ consciousness, whatever, however you're connecting with source, it's all going to come converging into the higher vibration of truth. Once the boop goes off, that shades of gray will be eliminated. But our white light that's been shining this whole time and getting rid of our own shadow work and saying, "Don't worry, it's better on the other side, you guys. It's all gonna be okay. Don't worry, it's gonna be okay." And the guy goes last night on the bus, "You sure have a lot of stuff rolling around in your head, like you know a lot of stuff." And I'm like, it is my job to, I think, create knowledge from a place that I've intuitively picked up as truth, and hopefully other people are seeing truth too and making sense of it. I don't want people to be afraid because that affects the collective consciousness. I want more people to be a little bit more into the shifting of the gears into happiness and not go. I would rather be looked up as a nut job right now for the next little bit, and then all of a sudden everybody gets boop, and then they're like, because I don't believe for a second that, first of all, we go through this big shift of white hat for the last however many years, helping us get to the plan and then seeing the plan come through fruition. I don't buy that we will be locked in these cities and these cities are going to be smart cities and turned on and no. That's fear-based porn still being promoted to you, and anybody who's shuffling that at you is not seeing how the plan has already taken place. They're not seeing the movie for the movie. I'm not saying this shit isn't happening, but you guys have to feel like Project Looking Glass has already seen every timeline. Okay, here's an example. I go to Ottawa. And I go with somebody who wants to, light the China flag on fire. I'm like, yeah, let's start this shit. They're talking about all the atrocities and helping people connect and blah, 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 blah. Okay? Part of the whole Ottawa thing was to change the collective consciousness, not only of Canadians, but of the whole entire globe. Firstly, murderbydecree.com came out January 15th saying, hey, we got a guilty verdict. 75 names, 10,786 corporations are guilty of crimes against humanity, blah, 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 blah. Our government needs to go to jail. The whole shit and shebang. Federal government, blah, blah, municipal, every single hospital, school, yada, 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 are all intertwined through laws, corporations, the courts, yada, yada. Don't even get me started, correct? So when that happened, it was like the truckers thing started. Every person that had to do with that, going to Ottawa or standing on the street, we all had a spiritual contract to engage, to shift gears at a bigger level. Because what we were doing wasn't accomplishing a task at that point. It was, but it wasn't on a pushing scale. I don't care. You can tell me all day long and I'll be like, yeah, whatever. I will disagree with you. That was a military operation to see, because there were things I firmly believe this intuitively, that there were operations that people were going to try and pull off there that would be mass shooting, an explosion, yada, yada. And so there were people that were going to harm innocent people, even in Ottawa. And Ottawa, to me, was like January 6th. And it was a way to get gates around Parliament. It was a way to get attention around our capital, it was a way to get attention around legislature. It was a way to get video footage of fuckery. It was a way to see who was going to pull off stuff. And in that, I saw with my own eyes, no one can tell me any different. I saw robots. I was telling you guys that before. I'm like, Fox News reporter was a robot. I don't give a fuck who tells me anything different. Nope. You cannot tell me that. I ran back to the hotel room. I've never wanted to run away from something in my whole entire life, except for that. I was like, what the fuck did I just see? Yeah, I don't care. So, like, there was a lot of things that had to push people to the very limit of who they were spiritually, because if you broke in Ottawa, you were going to either go to the dark side and be manipulated and controlled, or you were going to find your way out of that. So I know a lot of people stopped following me because I went through a transition of information of who I was, and what my role was. I went from a 3D, okay, this is my ego, this is my what I think's going on the planet, to no, like, now you have to observe what is happening because there's a bigger role to play afterwards. It wasn't how I got to Ottawa, who I went with. It was the fact that I had to be there as a human tripod to witness exactly and interpret the vibrations of what I felt of every person around me. I'm super sensitive to other people's energy, like super sensitive. And I also know that personally speaking, there were such powerful light workers in Ottawa, like my friend that went, Kat, and I, she's a little force to be reckoned with. Like, I really do believe that there had to be a strong feminine energy present there to combat anything that tried to infiltrate and fuck with the human condition. And that was all seen through Project Looking Glass. Don't think that we weren't part of those plans. So, and I do believe that there's all these controlled oppositions who got paid to be there, got paid to say things, da la la. I detach from those storylines because they keep people in a certain vibration. Like, that's not my role. My role is to have a eagle eye, raven's eye view of every little part of the program, and then try and help you make sense of it. Shift through those gears and emotions that are attached to those things. So my personal journey after Ottawa was going through a lot of shades of gray and getting rid of entities, attachments, past life traumas, past life spiritual contracts. I really realized that there are certain people who can handle a lot more shit because they've gotten a shit platter. They chose the shit platter soul contract to deal with, if that makes sense. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's like, it takes that woman on the plane, that is a freaking out person, to shift that whole plane's reality, to go on Twitter. She's like, Taco laughs. She goes, there, that's you. Like, I've said that before. Like, people thought I was fucking crazy when I said that. But the half of the police that marched down those streets were robots in Ottawa. If you don't know that already, if you were in Ottawa and didn't see that or feel it or felt that there was no energy attached to them at all, we were told not to fuck around. You fuck around, you're going to find out. Like, they don't know the difference between good conscious and bad conscious. It's a fucking program. Somebody's doing something bad, you're going to get it. Period. Period. So we've had to go through these huge shifts. There's no way. I've said this probably for the last 6 months. I thought in 2020 let's wake up. We're all ready to wake up. No, I wasn't even in the white light then. I was like still getting fucked off at people at McDonald's for yelling at me just because my friend wanted a cup of coffee. You know, trigger, trigger, trigger. So all of us who have contracted here through our souls to come and help people shift gears, we've already shifted to the light. So it's when we have to see people do these, it's not our burden. It is not our burden to help everyone shift. It is only our burden to shine the light on the information. That's the best way I can put it. Oop, I love that. So I'm going to read some comments now. Oh, wow. Look at all the comments. I love you guys. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Woot. Last video. Okay. Read that one. Raven, where can I send you info that you might be interested without putting it here? Send links to ravenmoonstone@outlook.com. Where can you share here? Uh, yeah, I don't have my chat channel anymore because it was getting bot infiltrated. So yeah, just send me stuff there. UK media giving 30 days warning warning for people flying, done in 30. Exactly. Hey, thank you. Thank you for saying that, John, because I've got something to say about that. And that's a good point you brought up about the shift. Hear me out on this, guys. So, done in 30. Trump tweeted on the 23rd. The mugshot was on the 24th. Watch the Water, and I think someone else had commented that September 25th is Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. September 24th is actually September 11th in the Julian calendar. So why do I think shit's getting real now? Because of the Trump tweet. I really do think that was like the ninth marker, and moving forward with the boom, boom, boom indictment, it is within this 30 days we will see the boop and all of this stuff crapping. And I really do think by September 25th, we're looking at a completely different reality. A completely different reality. Whether it's we have to see the atonement or events. They keep saying a comet's hitting the planet on the 23rd too, by the way, in case you didn't. Don't look up, you guys. This is when the movie comes to play. We got 30 days. 30 days. What are you going to do in your last 30 days? Well, maybe that 30 days means we've got 30 days, or this bank crash is going to happen within that time, or this week, or whatever, and it's going to cause everything to just warp speed ahead. We're going to see the collective consciousness information come out. I think that's what the whole thing is right now, is where is the shade of gray enough that we are to not create civil war? That's pretty much, if anything had been done any sooner, we would have been at war a long time ago. That's why we had to go through Ottawa. That's why we had to go through the other truckers going around all over the world creating this stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of people who have been affected by these agents, setting out, trying to capture the alpha male too. That's also part of in the program with all these wildfires and stuff. How do you distract people, right? So it's like an onion. No inbound flights to Manchester Airport. Maybe they should. Sammy, hello. There's Sammy. I was just going to say Manchester Airport is the stinkiest perfumed airport I've ever been in. Oh my God, that place stinks. I love my friends in Manchester, but they didn't believe me. And then when they were coming up through out in the parking lot, you could smell the perfume aisle. It was like disgusting. Media gave people 30-day. Italy, Greece, and Spain. Hitch happened. UK flight computer not working. Exactly. This is what we're going to see. Planes, trains, and automobiles, you guys. How else do we stop all the last of the people pilfering kids around, and human trafficking? Every avenue has to be stopped because they're clearing out the tunnels. They only have up here to run around and scramble on. And I can tell you, that's why a lot of us feel safer now, because they're panicking. They're too busy trying to figure out what this shit is going on, because they know it's 600 trillion. They don't got any more money. They've blown it all. It's gone. So distractions. Manchester Airport. Greetings from Marxist. Yeah, New York. Oh, right. New Yorkistan. Oh man, you guys are just, yeah, exactly. The only state that was completely Biden. Ugh, poor you guys. Maybe there's a reason I've only ever flown through there. Belgium. Hello, Belgium. Just had a Hercules unmarked military. Where are you again, Carolyn? Oh, excuse me. Dark gray. No, they're getting ready, you guys. You guys get ready. You know why? Because this is what's gonna happen. In my timeline, this is what I see. Yes, the WEF is already dealt with, you guys. So if you think that here's what you're seeing on the media, okay? First of all, everyone in the WEF, let's take Klaus Schwab. There is no way in a bazillion years we would see that butt fuck walking around in garter belt and white wedding dress on a nude beach somewhere if the white hats weren't in control of information. Number one, okay? You have to think about Bill Gates being killed off in 2013. This clone you see walking around, there's 2 or 3 of them. There's 5 of Trudeau. They've killed off the original big actors, if you will, and replaced them all with people who are acting in their role. Okay? Like Biden, for example. I swear to God, if that ain't Jim Carrey or some other good comedian, like, I will be surprised. Right? So there's a lot more good people than bad people. Firstly, the Blue Jays agreeing with me. And also Blue Jay means freedom. And the other thing is, the more people that are aware of their sovereignty, and that's why Alberta is super important. We were the biggest province to have the most people at all of our freedom rallies at first. We had like 2, 3, 4,000 people through the summertime when other cities were struggling to get 500 or 600 people. Like Toronto, for example. Toronto's very much like the New York of Canada. Like, no offense to people who live in Toronto. I don't know if I have a lot of Torontonians in my feed. I doubt it. I'd be shocked if I even had like 4 people that said, I'm from Toronto. Like, there's just not a lot of people who are from Toronto that watch my channel because of just the heavy programming that goes on through the schools and where these people come from. So, for example, Toronto, they bring a lot of Caribbean people up, young 20-year-old, 20-something people up. I know it happened when I was in Barbados. They get scouted for school or whatever, but really they end up working at Best Buy. And then they're kind of stuck in this very expensive communistic country trying to get out. So it's like a form of human trafficking. That's really what happens in Toronto. So it's very diverse. It's very culturally diverse, but the general population really, I don't think, knows how they even wound up in Toronto. Like, I really don't. You know, I really don't. It's just like, how did we get here? And I think that's what's happened to New York and a lot of other big places like that too. So, I want to do a quick card reading. I think I got to the point I was getting to, but who knows. I did a card reading with Dana earlier. Miss Dana. So yeah, I'm going to put a little thing. I'm only doing this YouTube video because I want to go drone some more. Excuse me. And I'll be loading up my other videos. I just had to figure out a way to save all of them and erase and move data, and that's what I spent my morning doing. So I can make one big nice drone video and put it up on, well, I'll put up Raven's first river raft on Rumble, so you guys can all see it. But it's already been posted on Facebook, Telegram, and Instagram. the short one, but the 13.5 minute one, which is, I think, includes footage from Linda's camera, the seagulls. That was pretty funny. There was an incident with the seagulls, you guys, man. It was hilarious. I brought the Sound of Freedom popcorn from July 3rd, the stale stuff I was telling you about, my desperate popcorn. I still had it in the bag. I'm like, I'm bringing this on my trip. And I gave it to Stalker Spice, Lisa, in their raft. And we just went past Seagull Island, and we were a little bit, the two paddle boards were a little bit ahead of the raft. And then all of a sudden I see this vision, like it's out of the birds, like a million seagulls. Like she's like flinging popcorn. It was so funny. I was killing myself laughing. I'm like, oh, this is epic. So I got a little bit of video of that, and yeah, it's really fun. So anyways, I like taking, I landed the drone. Get a load of this, you guys. It won't land on water, and it won't land on rocks. So if you're on a rock beach, where you gotta land it? On your paddleboard. So Colleen brought a do not consent pillowcase she had as her little Superman cape on the back of her life jacket. And she put it down on the my paddleboard, and I landed it on the O of the knot. I was like, yep, I can fly this drone. But to be honest, I can only like land it if I'm looking right at it. If I have to fly it from them, like, nah, no. So, and I flew it around quite a bit yesterday, actually side to side and around the park and over top at Bowness. So I got some wicked footage. So it's going to be awesome. Da, da, da. Do not sit in fear, you guys. Get rid of the last of it. That's the shades of gray we were talking about. Right there. Shades of gray. Look at it. It's water over rocks. Think about how rocks purify your water in your body. And yesterday we talked, oh, good one, goosebumps. So yesterday we were talking about how many people were on the river. And even when you go out on the river and you don't even know you're doing it, you're changing that vibration, because we're all in this sacred, flow, literally flow of transmuting the energy. And thanks, Dana, for that word again, because that's what my drone does. I thought my drone would irritate people, but I haven't really had anybody come over. They're more inquisitive, or they already know the rules to it, and their little kids want to come and see, so I bring over little kids. So it's transmuted a lot of energy out there, because now people can see nature, like they're actually looking through technology, but they're connecting to nature through a bird's eye view, instead of watching somebody else's video on Instagram or Facebook. Oh yeah, that's a nice drone video. They're actually like, wow, very present. It's so cool. That's the part I love about my drone. People are like, why did you buy a drone? And I'm like, I'm not sure, but now I know. Transmutation. Look at this, you guys. Dear, the gentleness, diplomacy. It is about helping, shining the light diplomatically on that fear that's being shown. You're the Merlin, the alchemic transmuter. It's about justice. It's about balance. Oh, I love this card reading. And risk. Here we go, you guys. This is about everything that we know. Look at that path and the light kind of at the end of the tunnel. I really feel like this card is, if I read it, it would be like, we're risking everything we know to get to the truth. And I just noticed this about this card. There's 3 directions, one straight forward, one left, one right. But the one going straight forward to the light looks like that's the path to go. So we have to create this. And this is all internal, because the Merlin appears, and that's your own alchemic force behind yourself, like what you're able to create. So love it. I love it. So good. So good. Anybody else have any last words before I dip out for the day? Still drinking coffee. I know no one else has been able to sleep, but man, the hours of, I'd say, 4 o'clock and 5:30 these last week, all I can say is hummingbird at a feeder. I'm like, what the? have to get up and smoke a doob and like, oh, I gotta shut. Like, I'm not thinking about anything. Like, I think about the things that I did during the day. Oh, that was super fun. And oh, I got the best sunset video or whatever. I'm not even thinking about the timelines out there. That's the beautiful thing. But I'm still in the something's happening. And then I wake up to helicopters. So I think that's my consciousness is like, things are happening. Just because you're not seeing them, they're happening. So there is a big shift happening. It's all happening here. You guys are doing your work, and I'm so proud of you. Look how far we've come. Like, literally. I'm super grateful to be here. I cannot believe we're alive during this time, and everything is making sense, and, sitting in the power of truth. And it's not about the ego of being right. It's the resonance of, wow, my intuition, and you guys must feel that too. I know you do. So try not to get too off kilter with whatever disruptions abound, and offer yourself some protection and grounding constantly. Be very, very conscious of your energy, and it's okay if you have to mother a few unaware people out there. There's nothing wrong with that. I thought about it that last night. I'm like, a group of teenagers barged in front of me. Like, they were all 15 to 16-year-olds, and it was shocking too. I'll tell you why, because of what was said afterwards. So they barged right past me on the C train last night. And like, I was like invisible to these ding dongs and I was literally standing in the place where the door was going to open. And so they just kind of mob me and go past, and I'm like, by all means. And they're like, thanks. Like, duh. So they go to sit where I need to sit because of my paddleboard trolley. I can't go sit in regular seats and have it jammed down the aisle. I gotta go sit where people put wheeled equipment. And they go to sit in the handicap seats. And I need to sit right kind of beside there. And there's no one sitting there, and they just go to sit down. I'm like, yeah, before you guys all go to sit down where I need to sit, you can go sit somewhere else. I just told the whole group that, like, in a very blunt manner. And there were all Asian kids, and one of the kids says afterwards, loud enough for me to hear, that shit would never fly in Japan. And I felt like saying, you're absolutely right. Have some respect for your elders. But I'm like, no, obviously you got the fucking message. Like, Jesus. I tried not to be mad, but I'm like, hey, that would just be like I'm mothering someone else's detach. I don't care. You know exactly what you know what you did. I don't need to tell you. And there's nothing wrong with delivering a nice red pill about, like, just self-awareness. So I'm not fucked off by it. It's just something that happened. Just kind of funny. They keep propping up. As I said to Dana this morning, I'm like, creators like, are you done being mad? Oh, okay, here's another dipshit for you. You still not mad? Are you still mad? Here's another one. That's why we get these people. Because you're not quite done. I'm getting rid of that last little piece of gray. So, anyways, I love you guys all. Have a wonderful day. I'm just going to press on the comments and see if there's what's going on before I dip out. Because, nope, nothing. It's saying the chat's hidden. What? I don't get it. I don't know what happened to the chat. Live chat. Okay, well, there we go. Okay, oh, right. Red hot, nice cold, yep, That's so funny. Yes, you guys have been feeling the buzz. Okay. What do you mean, how do I do that on YouTube? Oh, by the way, if people are looking for me, it's t.me/Raven Moonstone Art. It comes up as Raven Moonstone News on Telegram. And Yes. Yes, detaching is very hard work. Nobody said they were from Toronto, did they? See, I knew it. Called it. Oh, you're from Southwest Saskatchewan. Okay. Another Saskatoonian like me. I'm from Saskatchewan. Oh, yeah, you're close to Toronto. Yeah, but you don't actually live there. Same, 2 hours east. Definitely the New York. See, everybody in Canada knows what's up. So, oh, the other thing we were talking about too. Will they be locking us up for the last hurrah? Okay, that's a good question, Carolyn. What I think is going to happen, and again, it's just my own personal opinion, is when we see things like the WEF, these are all things that the shitbags wanted to do to us. So they got to come out and tell us everywhere, okay? Number one. Number two, like, that's why they go the 15-minute smart titties, we're going to zap you all. That was their plan. And then turn us off by, if we coughed, they would literally push a button and make us poop our pants and barf and die on the spot. That was the agenda. So the whole agenda had to be exposed for everything in it. Now, do I think we will be locked in our house? Yes. Do I think it's for a good reason? Yes. Okay. Ooh, I got goosebumps saying that, you guys. Okay, so why? I think we're going to go through, first of all, I've been saying we've been under martial law since Trump announced the emergency, whatever, back, I don't know when, March 13th, 2020, whenever. The whole lockdown thing started. Whenever that was around the time where they made the big push. And let's go back in the timeline a little bit. What was done back then? We had shipping issues. We had train derailments. We had planes shut down. We had all of those things stopped. COVID's gonna kill everybody if you interact with everybody. Okay, so think about it. Yeah, that was the plan, to kill everybody. But instead, what happened during these last 3.5 years has been the umbrella of, you're all gonna die from the big thing going around. So they could stop to catch all the bad guys in planes, trains, shipping, buses, all over. So those things had to be stopped so the human trafficking could be stopped. And it's kind of like the marker, because the border walls went up and and everything that happened under Trump era was to stop the big infiltration. Since he's not been in charge for the last 2 years, I think it's gone up 538% through that wall. And so the last 2.5 years of Trump, of January 6th to now, excuse me, has been the plan to open doors of information. So, of people who were telling you how these systems were corrupt. So, Charlie Ward or Charlie Freak or whoever, all of these people were trying to come out and say da 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 da, Now, that those things changed the collective consciousness, even when that happened in 2020. So, like, Janet's movie, all of those things woke up a lot of people, okay? So under the last 3.5 years, in my belief, in my vibration, I think the plan was about stopping as much. And then so when we actually do get the boop, this is a presidential alert message. There's a military coup or whatever underway and la 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 and blah blah blah. It's probably going to be Canada because why wouldn't it? I don't know. You know, it's going to look like some gong show, or maybe they'll arrest Biden or whatever. However it starts will make us go back home and be in a state of shelter in place. I think it's 2 to 3 hours we have to get back home. What gets stopped? All the planes, all the trains, all the everything, all the automobiles. Now, I think this is what I was going to say earlier. I didn't really get to my point. When this happens, I really do, in my heart of hearts, feel that even doctors, nurses, I think even what they're doing in public transit now, I have a lot of new transit drivers and train drivers. It's not because of summer vacation. I think these are military personnel coming in and training as regular, oh, flash green when I said that, training as regular people so that when we do have the boop, they can just step in and start the process where we're getting healed instead of harmed. So the schools, the hospitals, the transportation. So transportation can be looked at. Planes, they have a whole bunch of military pilots who know how to fly big commercial airplanes. That makes complete sense to me, you guys. So what if we were for 3 days locked in our houses? And I think I made a video in 2020 where I said I watched this video, and I'll repeat it now, where this guy was locked in a room as a psychological experiment, and all the furniture was glued to the ceiling, and he was left sitting on the ceiling, but it was actually the floor. So he was on the ground, and everything was glued upside down, and they locked him that way for 3 days. When he came out of that room 3 days later, for the next 3 days, it took him 3 days until he saw the world where he wasn't upside down. And to me, the upside downness, let's think about this in just binary numbers, okay? When we were programming a frog back in the 80s, yeah, I did it, to crawl up the screen in a fashion, we use zeros and one, the binary code, to make that happen. And my frog's leg was out like this, the hind leg, and he was crawling up the screen like this the whole way. I didn't see anything wrong with it, so he had a gimpy leg. What's the big deal? He didn't know, I didn't know, nobody knew. But all I had to do was go back to a certain line of code, change that code to make his leg go in the right way. Do you think the frog maybe doesn't remember ever having that leg? I think there will be a transmutation of the near-death experience that we don't remember, and the change in the binary number takes away all the dark energies that were attached, like all the creepy Disney movies and horror and all that programming that was infiltrated, and it only leaves good vibrations for people to watch. And they don't maybe even remember, the Mandela effect. Did I even see that? Was that a thing? And then all of a sudden it's not a thing. So kind of you've gotten rid of all those shades of gray instantly, because they have to shut down the grids, the electrical grids, they have to shut down the banks, they have to shut down all of the information passing. So what we've been seeing right now, our Alberta records were hacked in and shared with everybody a long time ago. Do I give a shit? Yeah, because I know they've been spying on us. Can I do anything about it? No, but is it going to get stopped? Yes. Do I know that? Yes. Am I going to be attached to them spying on me anymore? No, because I'm already living in the white light of knowing those programs are stopped. So some people are just catching up to that. In 2020, I could see how all of these things were shut down electrically. through planes, trains, and automobiles like that, so we could, all of us, uh, prepare. Prepare to, because we know what's going to happen in those 3 or 4 days. What if we do get all of the truth? What if we, whatever, our consciousness will change, all of that stuff. So, do I think I'm absolutely ready? No. I've been saying that all this time. Not sure if I'm ready, but I'm ready. I'm preparing as much as I can prepare. So that's what I think. That's just my opinion. I don't know if it's accurate. Who knows? But I've been getting that feeling like from 2020, like we won, we won, we won. Because the timelines from 2013 have collapsed. I'm like, well, wait a minute. If they did all of those things through these times, that means they don't exist anymore. And what the reality they're trying to project in these programs is really you're still being attached to that reality. Where to me, I'm a sovereign being. I go about my business. I live every day like I'm on holiday. I do what I want. I don't really try and get involved in anybody's fuckery because that's my reality. And I found like Linda asked me on Saturday, yeah, I'm calling you out, Linda. She goes, how do you have time to do chart videos, watch everybody's videos, and then post stuff on your page? I'm like, first of all, I don't watch everybody's videos. And I don't think not one single one of you has watched every single one of my videos. And if you have, get a life. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally just kidding. But I don't think everybody has watched every one of my videos. That would be, unless you're spying on me, but like, not everybody's going to get everything that every person says this whole time. And then all of a sudden it'll be a light bulb moment. Oh, now I know what she was talking about. But that's like, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying in my timeline of what my truth has been for 3.5 years, I've held that same kind of reality. And I've just been implementing things that substantiate that reality or confirm that reality, or I watch people that do confirm that reality. So I have a lot of great friends like Taco and other people that watch people and then they give me their opinion, and I value their opinion. I think it does take a village to get out information. I don't think one truther ever does it by themselves. So yeah, I always say thank you to Taco. I love Taco. She's so helpful. She's been working a lot and on vacation, so my channel's been like boop boop boop. But that's okay. I'm okay with all of it. Because we should all be dipping out from the vibes. So, does that make sense? Yeah, everything will be fine. Everything sounds good. Hang in there. Big transition. Yeah, leg gimpy. Maybe not. Yeah. Nobody's opinion is the absolute truth. I agree with you. It's my reality. That's what I'm saying. You can either agree with people's reality of how they perceive the events. You can say, oh yeah, but I've always gone to the 80-20 rule. Maybe I'm 80% right and 20% wrong. Maybe that's the way we're all supposed to be until we're 100% right. Maybe that's how it's controlled. But intuitively, if I go watch my chart videos or go back and remember even kind of what I put in there in 2020, it's the same vibration today. That's all I'm saying. The same information is coming out from those chart videos as it is now. So that's what I'm saying that is getting confirmed, which is right. It has nothing to do with me actually, I think I'm right all the time. No, I'm not one of those people. I don't care if I'm right. And I fully admit when I'm wrong. I'm like, okay, well, that wasn't exactly what I thought. We don't know everything. I don't know everything. And the more I know, the less I know. That's always what I've said. You think you know something and you're like, wow, I don't know it. So that's where it's at. You got to discern what your reality is. You create your reality. You project your reality. I try not let people project my reality for me. That's why I don't pay attention to negative comments, or I delete them, or I don't care about people's opinions on what I just said sometimes, because intuitively I always just ask to be in my highest place to get the relevant message across. And I feel like people who are in that same vibration are going to hear it, and people that aren't. And if I wanted to be a YouTube celebrity, I would have managed my career a whole lot differently 3.5 years ago. That's never been a thing for me, about being right and having to have the right information or knowing the right dates. And I don't care about any of that. I care about helping people be calm and I care about loving people, and I care about helping people. That's pretty simple. That's pretty much what my motives are. It's not because I think I'm smart and I gotta tell you guys how smart I am. No. It's like, I think if you know something and you don't share it with other people, you're a wiener. You're not very friendly to the truth community. Sharing is caring. So, the birds are all happy and they're agreeing. So, thank you for watching this video. I'm gonna dip out now. It's been a long chat. It's almost an hour and 7 minutes. But, yeah, it's just my opinion. Yeah, I am excited about the transition. I am. I'm very excited about everything happening. Yeah, after wanting to see an actual sign in my face that things are happening, today was great. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, furniture on the ceiling, right? That's crazy. But I do think that our minds are way more powerful than we know. And I keep saying this, and we do create that reality. We do. Like, time's an illusion, you guys. I live in a place where past, present, and future kind of reside all in the same time. So that's why it's hard for me to talk about a linear timeline where, because that line has been manipulated. That's all. So what's real to me now is all that's important. That's all. So when we shift gears, what's real to you now is what the collective consciousness, I think, is going towards. Because we're all hopping into, you know, more of a sacred geometry without the sand grains falling off everywhere. It's more harmonic. And that's what's going to bring all this white light. So, yeah. Hopefully I'll do a chart video in the next day or two. Kind of explain the money thing. And we'll see. It's going to be hot out tomorrow. I might go paddleboarding again tomorrow. It's going to be 31 degrees here. I love paddleboarding. I do. Oh, and by the way, I fixed my thing on my paddleboard. Now the air doesn't go psh it out. Yay! Yeah, that's an epic, you guys. You don't know how fast I got at it. If I was in a game show, I think my time would be under a second for doing the maybe 2 seconds. Maybe I'm exaggerating. No, it's probably under 2 seconds. But anyways, I love you guys, and I'm super grateful. Like, I just really want you to know that I've always valued everyone's opinion, whether I've agreed with it or not. I do believe in the other opinion, but I just don't hold negative attachments anymore. I just move through them. Like, you got to figure out what things are triggering you, and that's how we rise up. And we got to keep it together right now. Hold the line, because literally shit's about to go down, and our vibration's going to be fucked up a little bit, but I really do believe that change is here. It's here. It's imminent. It's imminent. So, oh, I'm so grateful. I am very grateful to everybody. Super grateful because you've kept my vibrations in high spirits this whole time on the YT. And so, but focus on Rumble. It's Raven Moonstone, all one word. The Raven Moonstone. It's Raven Moonstone channel on Rumble. So if you go put in Raven Moonstone, it should come up there. And yeah, just go check out whatever videos that you've missed. There's some new chart videos that I know a lot of people haven't seen because there's no views on them. So, and then some of my old ones I've posted too to share. And this is the other thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show. It is all connected, will be re-recorded in the right order and reposted on Rumble. Okay? That is my mission this week, to keep it under 45 minutes and a very quick video in the right way, so that when you go to share it with your family, that they're not going, oh, it's backwards, I don't want to watch it, instantly, and disconnecting from it. Okay? The information is more important than me taking the time to do it. So I will do it because I think it's important. Okay? So thank you to everybody who shares my videos. I love it. Love it. So I am very, 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 very grateful. So yeah, shift. Much love, Fred. Oh, hi, Fred. How's it going? Hi, Fred. Okay, and yes, I love, and I've had the best summer ever too. I really have. I've like honestly, I live in, I'm vacationing everywhere. You know, I'm really making it a mission to spend every day like it's my vacation here. And what do I want to do that makes me happy? So today is about videoing and droning and making sure all those come together and loading up stuff later when I come home. And it's, yeah, going to be a fun day. So I'm just super grateful to everyone. And I really love you guys. I really do. I really, really love you. Have a good day.